So we're going to talk about two things that I find very interesting today. Number one is Angel, and number two is a delicious beer. This is Summit Black Ale. Summit is a beer, as a brewing company from right here in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they're most famous for their extra pale ale. It just goes by EPA here in the cities, and everybody knows what EPA means. That's their most famous beer, and on the whole, most Summit beers are good, but none of them are blowing my mind good. They're not, on the whole, the most delicious. You know, in terms of beer, they're 8 out of 10 or whatever, but that's on the scale where you put Coors at 2. Okay, on the, like, good beer scale, they're probably, a 5 or 6. None of their beers are really my favorite, except for this one. This is by far my favorite Summit brew that I've ever had, and I've had all of them. I've had their Pilsner, I've had their EPA, I've had their, what else do they brew? I've had pretty much everything. I've toured the brewery like 2-3 times. I've been there, done that, and this is by far my favorite. It is my favorite because it is one of their hoppier but also fruitier beers. But it's still very dark flavored. It has kind of a citrus, kind of a hoppy, and then citrus. Those two flavors always go very well together. But then it still has a very dark, kind of malty taste as well. I very much love this stuff. This is great stuff. This is like, I don't even know. It's very good though. If you get a chance to have Summit beer, which you probably do because, like I said, it's one of the biggest breweries, microbrews here in Minnesota, I recommend going out and trying it. But like I said, none of their beers really just blow my mind. This one is by far my favorite because it doesn't have, I don't know what flavor that is, but all their other beers kind of have the same flavor. It's almost like they use a lot of the same ingredients or something like that. I'm not really sure. This is kind of citrus with bitter, with kind of a dark, kind of burned flavor. It's very good. Kind of low carbonation taste. Let's see what Beer Advocate says for alcohol by volume. 6.5. So it's not an astonishingly heavy beer either. But this is by far my favorite Summit beer I've ever had. So, moving on to something else I'm very passionate about. Angels. No one, I don't think, can ever accuse me of not loving Angels. I've owned at least 4 or 5 Angels, and now the news that that Angel is out of business, or WDP, as I refuse to call them Angel. They are still WDP to me. Went out of business, or is going to go out of business. That's kind of disheartening, and a lot of people are lamenting their loss, but honestly, I'm just not buying it. Angel was the gun to own for a long time, and this is the generation. The LCD, the IR3 are, in my opinion, the 2 best Angels ever built. Nothing else shot like them at the time. Nothing in terms of reliability, efficiency, speed, maintenance, whatever. They're by far superior to both Cockers and Mags in performance. Just an all-around great gun, these Angels are. The only really bad thing about these Angels is the high-pressure regs are kind of junk. But otherwise, they're quite great guns. But then what ended up happening to Angel is they were, well, everybody else was going eyes, while the Intimidator was going with eyes, well, the Matrix went with eyes. The Angel, they kept this stupid piezoelectric system and kept telling everybody, we don't need eyes, nobody needs eyes. Eyes are obsolete already and useless, and I don't think they put eyes into their guns until 2005, until the 2005 Speed or whatever. It may have been 2004, but I know there was at least 2 or 3 years when every other high-end gun had eyes and Angels didn't. And they honestly, that's what killed them. That's where they lost their market share. That's where they ceased to be competitive. And that's something that I saw with them again once the The Fly or the A1 came out. The A1 was a really cool gun in 2006 or 2007, but Angel has kind of an arrogance to them. Like they're willing to tell their customers, you guys don't need eyes, and then you see their pro teams going, I hope I don't chop, I hope I don't chop, I hope I don't chop, while everybody else with intimidators is going. They have an arrogance to tell you what you need instead of following market trends, and that's what they did with the A1 platform too. They said, "Oh, we're not having bolt stick problems. We're not having da da da. This is all your shit. This is all your problems. Oh crap, we do have bolt stick problems. Oh crap, our gun is forever old and needs updating, and the programs suck, and blah blah blah." All the what I think is true statements about the A1 and the A1 Fly system. And then the same thing happened to them. They tried to go milsim here, and it was just the same old crap from Angel. Kind of this top-down arrogance where they said, we'll tell you what you need, and you, instead of the other way around, where you tell them what they need, and it's not a good way to run a business, and that arrogance is what killed them in every way, shape, and form. That's what took them from the LCD dominating all of tournament paintball to the IR3 being somewhat less successful, and then after that they were nothing for at least 2 years because they didn't put eyes in their guns. And then again with the A1 platform, they did the exact same thing. They had a great gun when they started, and then they just didn't do anything good with it. It didn't keep up. Where it was perfectly adequate to have non-adjustable LPRs and stuff like that in these guns because they were built 10 years ago, it's not okay to have a non-adjustable LPR in a gun on 2011. It just isn't, right? The market's moved on, and instead they said, you don't need an adjustable LPR. Well, who are you to decide that? I'm just going to decide to buy somebody else's gun. And that's what happened. That's what they're dead for. So, I am an Angel supporter, but and I'm a frequent Angel owner, and I absolutely love this gun. And every Angel I've owned, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed. But you know what? I'm not lamenting their loss much. Everything they did good, they've done good previously, and nothing they were doing now was really anything interesting. A lot of other people are saying things like, this is a sign that the industry is not doing well, and well, I guess my response to that is they're not really influential in the industry because they refuse to change anything, and not many people are buying their guns, so there's a problem there. So they died out of their own ignorance, I feel like, instead of then again, it's not news that paintball is doing badly either, right? Like, you just go online and paintball is doing badly in the marketplace. So I'm not really seeing how this is a huge day or, why this is all that much of news anyway. Angels were great guns. Angels can be great guns, but I think they definitely died because they're just too arrogant to innovate, and that's why they're dead. That's why they've been a non-force in the industry for 4 years now. Just absolutely zero. Nobody cares what Angel is doing for the last 3-4 years because they weren't doing anything. So, I don't know. It's sad to know that Angels aren't going to be around because, like I said, we know they can do great things, but they just choose not to. It's like Toyota. We know they can make great cars. Make great cars. Everything you make now is boring and dumb. We need more LCDs. In terms of parts and things like that, I would definitely say this is not going to be the end of the world for those of us who own Classic Angels and love Classic Angels. So I wouldn't be worried about that. The solenoid's still manufactured, and there's still plenty of them. The boards, as always, go bad in them. So does the battery, but that's easy because it's a 5-volt solenoid. So any dozens of boards can be retrofitted to run them. It's just kind of nah, they died because they're dumb kind of thing for me. And I don't really see this as a pivotal moment in the industry when we lost Angel. Yeah, so what? Angel wasn't doing anything anyway. Um, so take that and go drink a Summit Brewery brew. If you can find the black ale, it's especially delicious, and I thoroughly recommend it. So yeah.